So you're thinking about taking some cheeky time off and traveling abroad. Well, when you're doing that, you're going to need to pack smart. And well, that's what this video is going to be about. I want to play board games while I'm away. And to do that, I'm going to need to test all of these small box board games, see which ones are the best, which ones you should be taking on your next trip away. Maybe you're going by air, maybe you're going by rail, or you're going by sea. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm jumping on a cruise ship. So let's go enjoy some games. Now here was the plan. I went from Canberra to Sydney to go to PlayCon. So I grabbed all these games, put them in my luggage, and we drove to Sydney. Then I realised that we're flying from Sydney to Brisbane and I couldn't take all these games with me. So I had to trim down this bulk of games. Well, firstly, import-export had to go. Too heavy. Like it's a brick in there that had to go, unfortunately. Mountain Goats, just that little bit too goaty for this cruise trip. So unfortunately, they'll be on the next one. I've got 3 games that turned up in the mail at the very last second. This was a Grail Games Kickstarter that I backed. Fjords, unfortunately, still in shrink. I left that one in the car. Shot and Totten, I also left in the car because, well, I don't know why. I had to make sacrifices. You understand, like sometimes you have to leave good games behind so you can try new adventures, and that's what I did. Bit of a table hog, which is a surprise because they're very small cards, but just takes up a little bit too much room, so we left Kodaks behind. So anyway, let's quickly just now trim down a few more because I really want to talk about the games that were quite special that I think you need to know about. Upcoming Kickstarter or Game Found, and I'm going to talk about this in a lot more depth. So I don't need to talk about it here, but if you're thinking about going on a trip away, how about checking Della Merchant's deck builder there? I don't even know how many times we played this. Like, have a look how worn this box is. It is disintegrating in my hands. We loved Star Realms. And lastly, I won't talk about Sea Salt and Paper. Exact same reason. She is a brilliant game, and I've already talked about it before and I love it to death. So Sea Salt and Paper, just know that you're going to fit that into every single pocket you could imagine. There we go. Shove it in there. Take it on a plane, take it on a cruise, whatever. Take Sea Salt and Paper with you. That and Star Realms, easy wins. Now, what have we got left over? Let's breathe and chat about them. So what I'm left with is 7 games that were completely new to me, and it's really, that's what this video is about. It's my feelings, experiences, my initial thoughts, my vibes that I felt playing these 7 new games. Okay, yeah. Down, yeah, come on, come on.
Out.
So let's start with Flip 7. Now, Flip 7 is all the rage at the moment. It's a push your luck game, blackjack-esque, where you're trying to not get the same number. If you get the same number twice, you're out of the round. But let's go into a bit more detail here. You're going to get a bunch of cards here, and they're going to be ranged from 0 through to 12. Now, the thing is, the higher the number, the more cards of that in the deck. So for 10, there's going to be 10 lots of 10. For 8, there's going to be 8 lots of 8s in the deck. 7 lots of 7, you get it. The number, whatever number it is, you're going to have that many in the deck. Now, as you're playing, you're going to get given a card. And here we go, got one down in front of you. Now from this point, when it comes back around to you again, you have a choice. You can either say, give me another card, or you can stop at any time and bank those points. And then what we're trying to do is get to 200 points. That's the game. But there's a lot more nuance to it than just that. Now, because you know how many cards are in each one, let's say I've got a 12 in front of me. Well, you know that what? There's going to be a higher chance that I'm going to get a 12 than if I had, let's say, an 8 and a 7 in front of me. It's all about trying to play those odds, and you're always pushing that a little bit too far. And, you know, unfortunately, another 12 comes out, I bust, I've lost all those points for that round. But what you've got here is you've also got other cards. You've got a freeze card, which actually forces you to stop for that round. You've got a flip 3 card. That means, well, unfortunately, 3 cards are going to have to be flipped over, bang, 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 and the tension and the anxiety that causes is amazing. It is a beautiful game. My family enjoyed it. My friends enjoyed it. Yeah, it's all the rage, and I get it. It's push your luck. It's a lot of fun, simple. The only thing I would say is we don't normally play to the 200 points. That just seems too much, and just too much bulk admin and counting at the end there. So we just stop whenever we feel like it. We might get to 150 points. we just stop and go, everyone count your cards now, and whoever had the most is the winner. That's the way we play it for our family. Works great. So Flip 7, absolute winner. Churrascaria. Churrascaria by Absurdist Productions. Now, firstly, let's just stop here and say, this is not a 2-player game. They mentioned 2 to 6. We played it at 2, didn't like it at 2. 4 to 5 players is the absolute sweet spot for this game. Now, what have we got in Churrascaria? And that's Portuguese barbecue. Now, what we've got here is a whole bunch of meat cards. We've got some dessert cards. We also have salads, just all of that yummy, yummy food. But the thing is, only meat is actually positive. Salad and desserts, they're negative points. So you don't want that. Okay, so you've got a virtual plate in front of you. You're going to have up to 4 food cards on your plate, and your sole purpose is to try and eat those food cards to bank the points, and then whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. That's the simplest part. But this is cutthroat, and they tell you that on the BGG website. This is a cutthroat game of gluttony, and that's 100% what it is, because you've got a whole bunch of action cards as well, and some of these action cards are going to force people to do things, and then you also have reaction cards which are going to try and stop people from doing things to you, and that's why it just didn't work at 2 players, but you're just going back and forth, didn't work. But at higher player counts, it definitely works. So what we've got here is the meat cards are worth positive points, the salads and the desserts are negative points. So maybe I'm going to play that card that's going to force you to eat your plate, because I can see that you've got a salad card, that you've got a dessert card. Yeah, you might have 1 meat as well, but you're going to get more negative points than positive. So I'm going to play a card for you to eat your plate. And then all of a sudden, next person goes around and maybe they've got, I don't know, a whole bunch of meat that they're trying to bank that round. That's pretty much it. You're going round and round until all those sort of food cards have gone. Here's the next thing I had a problem with. It's just too long, but there's a simple solution. All you gotta do, shuffle the cards, take a whole bunch of the meat cards out or the food cards out, and just play with a smaller deck, because the deck is the timer of the game. So it seems still quite balanced. Just take a portion of it out, have a smaller game. That's the way I'm gonna play it. 4 to 5 players, smaller deck, and yeah, I can see the fun in that. So that's Churrascaria. I practiced that a hell of a lot. Next 2 games are trick-taking games. Firstly, let's start with Farmhand. Now, there's a story here in Farmhand. Farmhand, I got to demo this game at CanCon, which is the Canberra's board game convention, and I met the designer, Craig Summerton, hell of a nice bloke, and he sat down with me, he played me Farmhand, and I went, do you know what, buddy? Take my money, I'm going to back your Kickstarter, and that's exactly what I did. I backed this, I backed the next game, we're going to talk about Tango, and I backed the small box Fjords, and I have no regrets so far. So let's chat about Farmhand. Now, this is a family-friendly trick-taking game with a twist, and we'll chat about that. So you're going to have a whole bunch of cards here. Now, they're all going to have different color suits. Well, that's not a card there. You're going to have a whole bunch of different suits, and you're going to be at different numbers ranging from 1 through to 7. But here's where the twist is. As you turn the cards around, people are actually going to see what suit your cards are, and they're also going to show what numbers. So each suit has a different sort of scale of numbers from that 1 to 7 on there, and you're going to know that. Now here's the beautiful thing. All it's doing is you're just following the suit if you can. So let's say I play this light green card down. Someone else around the table has a light green card. They got to follow suit. But the beautiful thing is, because I know what green cards there are, what numbers there are, I know I've got a high number here, then I know old matey over there, old matey Tomato, who's also got a light green card, probably has a low one. So I know I'm going to win the trick. And that's as simple and as beautiful as it gets. So you're looking at each one's back of their cards, trying to figure out if you're going to win the trick or not. Now, why are we trying to win tricks? Because we're bidding each round, and this is actually how we score. So on each round, as the rounds go higher and higher, we're going to get more and more cards. On the first round, we're just going to get 1 card. Second round, we're going to get 2 cards, so on and so forth. But what we're trying to do before the round starts is predict how many tricks we will win for that round. So let's say we're in the 3rd round right now, and I think I'm going to win 2 tricks. So I put my marker there on number 2, and I'm trying my very best with the cards I have in front of me to try and win 2 tricks. Now, if I get that correct, I'm going to get the amount of points based on what round we're in. But if I'm incorrect, I'm going to get negative points. And again, it's such a beautiful game. The family loves it. Everyone I played with absolutely adores Farmhand. Such a great, easygoing trick-taking game. Next one. This is the one that shocked me the most. Now, this Tango, this is the one I had limited interest in. I knew nothing about it. I was more interested in Farmhand. I was also more interested in the small box fjords. So Tango, I'm like, you know what? It's part of a triple deal. Let me get that triple banger in there and let me try Tango. This one, this is two-player trick-taking. How the hell does two-player trick-taking work? Look, I'm blown away by this design, and straight away, this was the shock of the 4 or 5 days I was on that cruise. Oh God, Tango is good. So we sat down in a piano bar. Me, my Canadian friend, because it's a two-player game, and we just sat down, we whacked this out, and we went, do you know what? This is one of the greatest games we have played, period. It was so good. Okay, so how does it work? We've got a bunch of cards here, range from 1 through to 10. And this is going to be more standard trick-taking where we're going to be following suits, of course, but we're also going to have a trump card. And that trump card is going to change depending on if you lose the last round, you get to change the trump card. And anyway, that's how that works. But what we've got here is we've got a series of cards in our hand. Plus also we have a series of cards in front of us on the table. Now, remember, two-player trick-taking. So on my turn, I'm going to pick one of the cards from my hand. I'm going to play it down. That person has to follow the suit if they can from the cards in their hand. Then it's going to come back to me. I'm going to then look at the cards that are on the table. So this is known information. I can see his cards, they can see my cards, and then I've got to pick one of those cards to play next in that trick. And the same vice versa, that other person's going to play one as well. So this is where the intricate design goes into it. So I don't know what cards they've got in their hand. I know what cards I've got in my hand, but I can also see all the cards on the table. And again, we're trying to win tricks, but here's that small little wrinkle. What we have here is certain cards are worth points. That little black dot is worth a point. And if I win tricks with those dots in there, I'm gonna win points at the end of that round, which is great. But the higher the card, the 9 and the 10 are actually worth negative points. So here's where the problem is. 9 and 10s will help me win the trick, but they're worth negative points. So sometimes I don't want to win the trick because I don't want to get the negative points. It's an absolute balancing act. It is a beautiful design. It is the one that shocked me the most. Tango, two-player trick-taking. Okay, we're nearly there. 3 more to go. Dr. Finn's book of solo strategy and word games. What the hell? Not even a board game. Makes this list because how brilliant is this? There is 8 games. Basically, think of it as roll and write sort of games, but they're used with dice. So you've got to supply your own dice, up to 4 dice there, but there's 8 different unique games. And this is brilliant to take with you. A book, chuck it in your bag, chuck a couple dice in your bag, and there you go. You've got games you can play while you're just sitting at the terminal waiting. If you're, on the plane, it is such a great idea. We got to play a couple. We didn't get to play all of them yet, but I played the farm one there, which I love. I was terrible at. What else did we had? Played against the eldest on the word game. Where's the word game in here? Oh, where are we? There we go. There's a version of the word game there. See, that's my eldest. She did that, and I smashed her with, what did I get? 83. I don't want to brag, but pretty damn good at this game. But yeah, just beautiful little designs. Now let me talk about this word game. So what it is you're going to roll dice to start where you're starting on this grid here. Then from there, each turn, you're going to roll the dice, you're going to get a number, and that number is going to give you a shape. Then from where you start branching out with those shapes as you roll the dice. And as you do, you're going to put those letters down the bottom there, and you're trying to create words. Think of it a bit like Scrabble, but that was such a fun game. Really good. Oh my God. There's more in here. There we go. We did that one there. Some flags and trees and stuff. 8 fun mini games. I don't know. Again, not a game. It's a book. It's from Dr. Finn. You know Dr. Finn. There you go. Yeah, so look, that made the list just because that was so unique and such a great idea. From there, what do we got left? We have Big Top. Let's talk about Big Top. Now, this is one of those all-player games I was talking about. This is a bidding auction game about trying to bid on circus acts. You want all the best circus acts to come into your circus so you can put on the best show in town. Now, bidding auction games, so again, higher player counts always better. Now, let's have a look here. Oh, let's see. It's a couple of cards here. Now, this is where it's a little bit unique. Now, as you collect these cards in front of you, you're going to be trying to bid on them. If you win the bid, you get the card and you put it in front of you. You don't score those points just yet. Because what you have on each of these cards is certain numbers. So this one is 5, 6, and 7. I haven't got my glasses. I'm pretty sure it's 5, 6, and 7 there. Now, every time going forward, now that's in front of me, if I bid with $5, $6, or $7, I can then put one of my dollars on here and you're trying to fill all these up. Once you fill it all up, then finally you can bank the points. Now, some of these are also going to give you certain benefits as well, end-game scoring. You need at least one star card to actually win the game. A lot of fun. Again, a small bidding game. Brilliant. You want one of these in your collection. But here is the catch. When we first played it, we got the rules wrong. And we hated it. It was horrendous. We're like, this doesn't work. We can never complete any of these cards. Once we got the rules right, crazy thing that once we got the rules right, bloody loved it. So yeah, there you go. Win the circus acts, bid those numbers. Again, you're bidding on another card in the middle, but if you bid that amount, you're covering up your own cards, and that's the purpose. You're trying to cover them up to score the points. Very fun, very good game. Now that we know the rules, love me some big top there. Finally, number 7. Okay, Doomlings. I've talked about Doomlings before, but I didn't give this game enough credit. When I put this game on the table, I was again playing with my friend. We put it on the table, and originally we didn't play with the new expansion Shadow Puppets. He said straight away, took a photo of it, I'm buying this game when I get back home. So hopefully he can get this in Canada, because it'll be very disappointed if he can't. Oh, geez. There we go. So yes, Doomlings, absolutely love it. So that was the first initial thing. And what are you trying to do? Okay, you're trying to, let me see if I can get some of these Doomling cards out. You've basically got trait cards, and these trait cards you're going to be putting down in front of you, and it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's Exploding Kitten-esque, but it's sort of like that to a degree. Okay. What we have here, this is our gene pool, and our gene pool tells us how many cards, how many trait cards we can have in our hand. And on our turn, we're going to play one of those cards down, and they're going to go into different colors, and those different colors are going to try and score. But there's just so many fun combinations that you can do. You play a card, and it might have some interaction with one of the other players. It might give you bonus points for, like, you know, biggest lot of numbers. You know, just a lot of fun with the base game. But then we played with Shadow Puppets, and I don't know if I've separated it here or not. I probably haven't, which is my own fault. But look, Shadow Puppets introduced new Doomlings. So there's Fuselings, Moonlings, Glitterlings. Anyway, all you need to know is Shadow Puppets improved the game. I now would only play with Shadow Puppets because they were very cool powers. So there was 3 new factions and the Fuselings, but basically 4 new factions that sort of get mixed in with your traits there. And it just increases the fun. There's just a lot more, it ramps it up somehow. And look, it really good expansion. I didn't know how I'd feel about this, because, you know, the original Doomlings, I just don't get to play much. But when I played with my friend, I fast realized this game's really, really good. And with this expansion, it's great. There we go. So look, for the most part, loved our experience. And maybe it's the fact that we were having a hell of a lot of fruit tingle cocktails. But yeah, a lot of fun on board. We saw a whole bunch of whales. You know, friends got to go snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef. What a bloody 4 or 5 days. So good. Board games, drinks, friends. It's perfect. So there we go. There's 7 small box new games to me and my thoughts on all of them. So hopefully this video is going to be of use to you, and hopefully some of these games will enter your collection and you can chuck them in your bag the next time you go on a holiday. Anyway, that's all I've got. I'm Hogs. This is the Bangers Project. Till next time, laters.